Out on its own, Australia the only country to use climate funding to upgrade coal-fired plants.
Here's a summary of the article.
Australia is the only developed country that allows climate change funding to be used to upgrade coal-fired power plants, green finance experts say. Experts say allowing Vales Point coal-fired power station to register with the Morrison government's Emissions Reduction Fund, rebadged this week as a «climate solutions policy», puts Australia out of step with the World Bank, Europe and the US, which have all rejected using climate financing for coal power retrofits. No investors in the Western world will accept any green bonds that incentivize anything like coal station retrofits. From an investor's perspective, coal is a dead duck. Emma Hurd, chief executive of the Investor Group on Climate Change, says Australia is moving across the trend by considering giving taxpayer support to coal. In the past fortnight, mining giant Glencore has said it will cap coal production in response to pressure from shareholders, while Rio Tinto stressed it was the only large mining company with no fossil fuel investments, having sold its final coal assets to Glencore last year. Last year the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change said that limiting global warming to 1.5 C, a goal referenced in the Paris Climate Agreement, would require coal use for energy to fall 59 to 78% below 2010 levels by 2030. The company disagrees, noting former Environment Minister Greg Hunt said the fund could be used to «clean up» power plants and that published guidelines explicitly said coal could win backing.
This post received a score of 51,663, with an upvote ratio of 89%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Isn't Australia going to be one of the ones hit hardest by climate change too? Loss of reef, already hot as fuck, lots of coastline, etc.
They enjoyed the ozone layer hole so much they want to get to level 2 and face bigger enemies.
Ozone hole is repairing itself and should be back to normal by the 2040s. Our emissions on the other hand are atrocious and our reefs, forests and jungles are all dying along with every native species of flora and fauna.
You guys are playing with the extreme conditions modifier and still they want to further use coal.
It's more complicated. It is a party with vested interests in coal and their misaligned voter base who want to further use of coal for energy use. These companies still want to have coking coal in their portfolio for steel but are diversifying, which is great news. We are on the brink of an election for a new party and leader, so hopefully we return to better ecological policy, yet even the Labour Party is pro-lumber and are willing to side with corrupt Indian Corp Adani to build a massive coal mine and port in Queensland. It's not the voters who want coal nor big mining corporations but bought-out politicians who lose a lot of money.
What is so attractive to people about coal and/or how do the coal-producing companies have so much money to throw at politicians for votes? Coal has been on its way out for years. Is there a secret pile of coal cash sitting somewhere that they keep feeding off of to stay alive between cycles of increased-decreased regulation?
In 2014, the share of world energy consumption for electricity generation by source was coal at 40.8% from Wikipedia on world's energy consumption. So coal is still a huge market, so, like always, follow the money.
If only there was some kind of natural power source Australia had virtually infinite amounts of.
Uranium
Would be far more preferable to coal. Don't worry. In Ontario, Canada Premier Doug Ford will be collecting a carbon tax and placing it into trust fund for industry to take money from and hopefully be greener. I trust industry to just take the money. Australia, briefly, had a carbon tax. It was effective at reducing emissions. Then the politically far-right Liberal Party came in and canned the tax on the premise of lowering power bills for Aussie battlers. Power companies pocketed the removal of the tax, and to salt the wound they spiked the cost of power by around 20% par for the next couple years. Emissions turned about and started to rise once again.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by SMMRY.com, without any human intervention.